So it's been a while since I did a video, so I wanted to do a little video update to show you guys what we have going on. Over here we started planting out this nice border strip of food forest. It's mainly citrus dominated right now, so we've got some lemons, which are starting to grow in this little bush. We've got our first little crop of lemons coming. We've got some lemongrass throughout. We've got calamandan oranges, which are producing heavily. I just picked off a bunch of those earlier. Some malanga, some bananas, limes. We've got Seminole pumpkins that are starting to kind of go crazy all over the place. These things are going to do great. Starting to get some little pumpkins on them. These are taking off. They're growing maybe a foot a week. Got some more citrus, coconuts in the back. This is a key lime that's putting out tons of new growth. Got a small cucumber trying to grow up this ornamental bush. We've got some moringa trees in here, which have probably put on, I don't know, 8 inches to a foot of growth in the past couple of weeks. They're finally starting to get established. We got chaya, more chaya, more chaya. Big mango tree, avocados. Our tamarind tree is producing, so we'll have some tamarind soon. This is a sour tamarind. In our nursery, I've got a bunch of seeds planted for some sweet tamarind. We've been getting piles of rain the past couple of days, so you can see back in here just kind of how flooded we get in parts. I'm gonna have to put some mulch or something in here to help reduce the lake. Although the bananas should love the water. Coming back down on the other side of the pond, we've got a whole bunch of these dwarf Cavendish bananas that are coming up. The initial ones that we planted died back. And we've got a ton of pups that are coming up. These bananas came up pretty good. The 3 racks that were on here we ended up cutting down and eating and freezing and making smoothies out of. They're pretty good. They taste like the regular grocery store bananas. There's nothing too special about them, but they're decent. We've got some small papaya plants coming up everywhere from seeds I've been scattering like crazy. This back in here is a bit of a cypress swamp, which was not this swampy before the rain. I'm going to have to build some boardwalks through here and maybe raise up some beds. I intended to plant chocolate and coffee back here, but I'm not entirely sure how that's going to do with this amount of water. So I might have to make some beds for them in here and mulch it pretty heavily. It's just getting soggy. Maybe I can, I don't know, figure something out with that. The pond's overflowing on this side. It's just becoming swamp all the way through. I have to do something with that. Might be some bridge building if this keeps up. This is just finally starting to compost down pretty well. I threw a handful of seeds back here just to see what would happen. A bunch of non-GMO soybean and things just to hopefully fix some nitrogen and get the soil going. Some tomatoes in here, but you can see that this bed that we've been working on has been composting down really nice. We're getting some great soil built in here, so it's not just mulch anymore. Piles of sand. So this is probably going to be the next big garden bed that we get going. I had a patch of taro in here that's now underwater because we got so much rain. We had an unusual amount of rain and it just flooded out everything. So I might be pulling taro out of here and moving it somewhere else as soon as this water recedes a little bit, because this is kind of crazy. we're planning on getting dairy goats soon, and we have a pig that was following me around before. So we've been getting piles and piles and piles of this spent grain from a local brewery. We're just getting buckets full of this stuff. We've been getting maybe 1,000 pounds a week. So that's going to go towards composting and getting our livestock production going. So I started building all these pallet pens for all this livestock that's eventually going in here. Moving back into, we're starting to put in these food forest systems. Planted a nice big coconut tree that we picked up near Orlando. Got some more banana trees coming up down in there. We've got Seminole pumpkins and an heirloom kind of English squash going everywhere through here. It's, I think it's actually an English cheese pumpkin. Got some plumeria. The Orinoco bananas are doing pretty good. Got some figs. Over in here, I just planted seed in here like 2 days ago. We're going to have a whole bunch of yard-long bean down over this side and dinosaur kale over here. I'm planting a ton of dinosaur kale. I got a ton of seed. And here we've got some yucca, the cassava, we've got lemongrass, a Barbados cherry in the back. Got one of our figs. That's a Orinoco banana, a dwarf Jamaican red banana. This is jackfruit. This is one of our red jackfruit trees. We've got 4 jackfruit trees that I planted. And this is that Orinoco banana, or a burro plantain, that's starting to do pretty good. This over here is going to be more vegetable beds. This is just a kind of work in progress. I have to get more mulch put down, bury in all of these weeds. Just a crazy amount of water in here. We never get water built up in this pit, and it's flooded out. There's just so much water right now. This is kind of unusual because we're in the dry season. We didn't really get much of a dry season this year. It's just been raining and hot. It's not kind of typical weather for this part of Florida in the middle of the winter, which the plants are loving. Just hoping to be able to get some more work done. It's not pouring rain. So there's dwarf Jamaican red banana that's coming up. With a monstera that'll hopefully go nuts and grow up that tree. This is a rose banana that grows 12 feet tall with really nice slender stems, and it grows a moderate sized bunch of kind of lemony flavored bananas. It's supposed to be really good. I'm excited to try those. Got some shampoo ginger back in here. Got some more bananas and heliconias stuck back in there. I'm doing a whole bunch of clearing. I've got a banana tree growing in here. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I've got some small katuk seedlings planted through here. Got another rose banana coming up. Back through here, we've got some dragon fruit that's finally rooting. Got some more shampoo ginger back in here. We've got some nice edible culinary gingers that are starting to sprout. I planted some turmeric back in here. We'll see if that comes up. This is a strawberry tree, which I'm excited to try. We got some more gingers. Back in here we've got a whole bunch more unknown bananas. We'll have to see what those come out looking like when they fruit. Back in here is another area that we just kind of started clearing out a little bit. This is going to end up being another big vegetable production area. See some of our giant Florida spiders that we're dealing with in here. Those things are crazy. And they're everywhere. They sneak up on you at night. Farming in the jungle is always fun. Back around this way, we've got another one of those rose bananas coming up over here. Back in this bed, we've got a small soursop tree, which is known to have anti-cancer properties in the leaves. It grows a fruit as well that's kind of widely eaten, but I'm more interested in it for the leaves. Over here, this is going to be another big vegetable bed, kind of connected to the one down the other side of this giant mulch pile. This right here is a yellow jackfruit tree. Got more bananas. I'm not entirely sure of the variety on that. We'll have to see. Got some more bananas down here. This path, there's not much down here right now. There's a couple of small papaya trees sprouting. This all is going to be planted densely with fruit trees. This right here is a nice date palm. I'm excited to see when that decides to start producing. Hopefully it's a female plant and will give us some fruit. Got a squash popping up there that the birds planted for me. Or the squirrels maybe. Over in here we're going to be doing some natural building projects. Do some videos on that later. Coming back around this way. We don't have too much planted over here yet. I've got another red jackfruit tree that just blew past. Over in here we've got a whole bunch of Seminole pumpkin and cucumbers, papaya, some lemongrass, moringa, more of those English cheese pumpkins. Got some more lemongrass stuck in here, Seminole pumpkins. Got a ton of random stuff growing out of the compost that I have no clue what it is. Now let me show you this. So back in here, I'm working with a friend of mine. In this whole area, we're going to be playing with doing some raised beds and hugelkultur down this whole spot. This is maybe, I don't know, 30 by 100 feet. We're going to play around with doing some stuff in there. And then back in here, we're carving out some space all the way in the back of the property where no one's going to bother it. And we're going to put in a whole bunch of beehives back here. Increase our pollination, get some honey production. So that's exciting. Hopefully we can get that started in the next couple of weeks. I've got some random building materials for those projects to be discussed later. Down over here, I'm doing some tests just to see what's going to grow well for us. I'm trying out some stuff. So over here we've got a bunch of seed that I'm testing from the University of Hawaii, the Department of Tropical Agriculture at Manoa. We've got some different lettuce varieties and kai choy. They're all seem to be doing okay right now. We'll see how they do once it starts getting a little bit warmer. I want to see if those will do well here since they're strains bred for the tropics. Got some more lettuce that I'm trying in here. This is all cabbage. It's a kind of loose leaf, non-heading cabbage. Got some more of those pumpkins, some bananas and plantains growing along the back. This is all more cabbage. Over here I tried planting some onions a couple of days ago, see if that seed comes up. And over here are some beets that are just starting to sprout. Some more Seminole pumpkin towards the back. Then we've got this. This is a Mysore banana that I just found the other day growing underneath it from a fallen pit. Nice little avocado tree. Gonna have to transplant that out somewhere, or it's not gonna get smothered by bananas. And down over here, it's another one of the big annual production beds that we're working on. This, we just spread out this mulch, so it's still just leaves and sticks and chipped up trees. So this is going to take probably 3 weeks to really compost down, and then we can start planting in this. Everything composts really quickly in Florida, which is nice. We've been pulling a ton of this garbage out of the compost. The landscapers that we get it from just throw all their trash in the back, and then we end up picking it out, so we get piles of trash that we're pulling out. So trying to separate it between trash and recyclables and compost what we can. It's better than they would be doing. Got some coconuts, some edible cactuses, or cacti. In here we've got a bunch of yucca. I planted yucca kind of all throughout these borders. It's going to be yucca and bananas, lemongrass, langa, sweet potatoes growing underneath. We've got some apple bananas that are doing okay. Got more yucca down in the front. These are Rajapuri bananas that we planted, and we'll see how those end up doing. Then we've got this big old mulch pile that we're pulling from for everything. We've had about 100 truckloads of mulch dumped on the site. You can see just kind of how absolutely massive this pile is that we're working with right now. We're getting tons and tons of mulch. You can kind of see the annual production beds on both sides. This is all going to be kind of annual production here in the middle of the site. There we go. This is our little composting machine. His job is to eat all our scraps, dig through the new beds, make compost for me. It's very efficient. He poops a lot. This is a kind of cool plant. This is bay rum. So this, you take the leaves, you crush them up. It's mainly used for the essential oils. Some people say you can cook with it. It's used in some kind of Caribbean cuisine for cooking, but it's not terribly good, and some people say it might be poisonous. So I wouldn't cook with it, but as far as the scent goes, it is incredible. If you've ever smelled bay rum cologne, you know what I'm talking about. Got some more papayas in here, some lemongrass, some cacti. This is some pigeon pea that I have coming up. More coconuts, more papaya. This is going to be full of bananas soon. This is kind of the next area that we're planting out dense with bananas. And then the last area that we've got it's all the way back here in our plant nursery. I started putting down more geotextile so that I can continue getting stuff planted. Got a couple of different strains of dragon fruit that we're trying. Got some black sapote, some different varieties of papaya, some goji berry. Got this one here, which is a kind of rare wild guava from Costa Rica that I'm really excited to try. Some more papaya, more papaya. This is sunset papaya. More papayas, some Okinawan spinach, some curry trees. So you get curry leaf. We've got some miracle berry. And then a bunch of vegetables that are looking sad that we've been pulling from to plant out. These are kind of cool. These we just planted and they're just starting to sprout. This is a blue tomato that's got a ton of antioxidants in it. These tomatoes, it's a cherry tomato. It's almost black. It's that dark, kind of indigo blue. And they've got the same antioxidant compound that you find in blueberries and blackberries. They're supposed to be incredible for you, so we're giving those a try. And I think that's about everything. That brings us back to where we started. And in a couple of more weeks, once stuff grows in a bit more, I'll come back with another update video. Thanks for watching.